Hey there guys, welcome to Geogebra 101, and today I'm going to show you how to make an equilateral triangle, a right triangle, and a perfect square using this program known as Geogebra. Let's get started. So what you're going to want to do is, you're going to want to start with this icon up here. I have the regular polygon selected, but what you can choose is either a polygon, a regular polygon, a rigid polygon, or a vector polygon. For right now, let's go with the regular polygon. Now, you're going to want to select any point here on the grid here. Let's just say 3, 1 to start off with. Now what you're going to do is you're going to drag your line, let's say to 6, 1. Now this new pop-up comes up, and it's for the number of vertices that you want in your polygon. And since it's a triangle, we're going to end up selecting 3. Then hit enter. And right here, as you can see, we have a perfect equilateral triangle right here already made for us. Now what I like to do is I like to double check all the angles just to make sure. So you're going to select this angle icon up here. Make sure that it's on just plain angle. You don't want to have any of these different icons for what we're doing right now. And now just click right on the polygon, and as you can see, the different angles pop up at all the different vertices. Now with an equilateral triangle, you need to have 60 degrees for each angle because it's supposed to equal 180 degrees. So as you can see, we have 60, 60, and 60, and it's just perfect. Now, with an equilateral triangle, it's supposed to be perpendicular to the base. There's supposed to be a reflection perpendicular to the base. Now, what I mean by that is, we want to make sure that if we have a line going through one of the points to the middle of the opposite base, that it's going to be perfectly symmetrical. So to make sure of this, we're going to go to this over here. Now what you want to do is you want to go to a line option. We're going to draw a line straight through this triangle. So we'll start at point C, and we'll go all the way down perfectly straight right through the base. And what that's going to do is it's going to make sure, okay, let's see. Yep, this is perfect. We have a straight line going right through over here, and it's perfectly equal on this side and perfectly equal on this side. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do it again from point B straight through the middle and point A straight through the middle. And perfect. Now we have a perfectly symmetrical equilateral triangle. Now we'll just back out of everything, make sure that we're nice and fresh on our next one. And now what I'm going to show you is how to make a right triangle. Now we're going to go back to this regular polygon icon up here, and we're just going to select a regular polygon. And this time, why don't we start at point 3, 4. And just for future reference, guys, in case for some reason you don't get it exact on the first try, what you can do is you can double click right here, and then you could just edit your points to say 4, 5. And then it moves it automatically right to where you want it. So we'll go to 4, 5, and now let's go straight down to 4, 1. And then we're going to end up going the same distance, the same number of points. So 4 points, and we'll go straight over to 8, 1. And now to finish it off, we're going to go back up to point A, click, and now we have our perfect right triangle right here. So again, just double check, we have the angles right here. And as you can see with a right triangle that has 2 legs that are the same length, you want a 45-degree angle on the bottom right corner here and a 45-degree angle at the top here, while this one is 90 degrees. Now keep in mind, this is still a triangle here, so we still want everything to equal 180 degrees, which it does. We have 45 plus 45 equaling 90, and then 90 plus 90 equaling 180 degrees. So, just to double check with our symmetries, this one is only symmetrical when you have a line going through point B right here at the bottom through this base. That's the only way that is going to be perfectly symmetrical in this scenario. So we'll go back to our line over here, and we'll select point B, and then we'll just have a straight line going right through the middle. And there we go. Now we have a perfectly split triangle where its reflection is perfect over both sides. And now we have double checked and we made sure that yes, this is a perfect right triangle. Alright, so now we're just going to go and back out of everything again. And now I'm going to show you how to make a square. Now, there's multiple ways to do this, but we're going to go back to our regular polygon just to be on the safe side. And now we're going to go to, let's say, 0.32, and we're going to make this a little bigger just so I can really show you guys what it is that we're doing. And we're going to go to 8.2. Again, this pops up, and since we're working with a square, we don't need to change anything. It automatically goes to 4 vertices every time you pop this up, so we'll just hit enter, and sure enough, we have a square right here. Perfect square length right in the making. So now what we're going to do is, we'll click the angle icon, and with a square, we have 90-degree angles at each vertice. But with a square, we have to make sure that all of the side lengths are the same, which in this case they are. Now, to make sure that everything is symmetrical through its points, we're going to select the line option again. Now, with a perfect square, we can go through the midpoints of the square and we can go through the diagonals of the square, and it would be perfectly symmetrical on each side. But what I'm going to show you first is what happens when I go through a diagonal. So we'll go from point D over to point B. If you notice here, it looks like we have 2 right triangles that make a square. And in this case, you would be correct. That line B that we had before on the triangle is actually the diagonal line of a perfect square, meaning that it takes 2 right triangles on top of one another to actually form a square. So that means that we can go this way as well too, and it would still be perfectly symmetrical. Alright, and now for the midpoints of the square. So we'll have one right in the middle over there, and we'll have it go right there. And then we can go the same way here. In case you end up actually messing up and you don't get it on the perfect point, you can actually click and drag your point so that way it's perfectly symmetrical. And now, as you can see here, we've got midway points going through the diagonals and going through the midpoints, meaning that it's perfectly symmetrical going on either side. And that's how you make a perfect square. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any more questions, just leave it down in the comments below. Thanks, guys, and I hope you enjoyed.